Okay. Assalamualaikum and good night, Afiq. We are very
Waalaikumsalam.
thankful to have you here tonight to join our interview. Uh, okay, so I will introduce myself first. My name
Alright.
is Ahmad Al Hakim, Ahmad Rosli, and I'm 20 years old, currently studying at KPMSI for Diploma in English Communication. And this is my friend Naim. He will introduce himself.
Okay, my name is Ahmad. My full name is Ahmad Naib bin Ahmad Zaki, and I'm also 20 years old. I'm currently studying at KPMSI, same as Hakim, for English communication.
Okay. So, Afi, can you introduce yourself and tell us more about your background?
Okay. Assalamualaikum. Good evening to both of my hosts today. I'm Afik Danish. I'm 20 years old. I'm from Sabah. And same for these two gentlemen here. I'm studying at KPMSI as well. And I'm class DEC 6E.
Oh, can you tell us more about your race background? Like where you from? Okay.
Okay. I'm from Sabah, but I was born in Kota Kinabalu, Sabah. And I'm from my race. My mother and my father are both Kadazan people, but they are mixed with my mom. She's Kadazan and Arab, Kadazan Arab Pakistan, and also I forgot what. But my father,
Oh,
he's Kadazan Chinese. Yeah.
okay. So
Uh,
you okay. So
yeah.
you are uh,
Kadazan lah,
okay.
basically.
Aku Kadazan. So we here together with my partner. We want to
I see.
ask more about your Kadazan side, about your
Okay.
culture. Okay, right there. Um, you
Sure,
you
sure.
okay with that?
I'm okay. Ask away.
Okay, okay, great. Thank you, thank you. So, for the first question, I want to know about the slang. Okay,
Okay.
this is the question. What are some slang words in your community you often use, and what do they mean? How do these would help people communicate and feel closer to each other? Like slang in Kadazan language. Do you have something like that?
I see. All right. So for us, okay, if I were to talk, okay, in Sabah, among my friends, among my family, especially my Kadazan side, there's always gonna be one word. So we're gonna always gonna say "sio." So "sio" means sorry lah. So
Oh,
macam, so if like for example, I'm hanging at my friends, I accidentally hit their hand or something. I say, "Oh, "sio, sio, sio." So
oh,
that's like sorry, sorry, sorry. Yeah, it's very common because that's like a very easy word for people to say. Even non-Karazhan people say it. So if I were to give an example, even here with my friends all in KPMSI, I would often say "sio" accidentally, and they would
oh,
catch it. Yeah. For how it makes people feel closer. So for me, like a Sabahan in Semenanjung, sometimes when I'm alone or maybe when I'm with some of my friends and somehow meet somebody new. As actually there was an instance, I met someone new, and I accidentally brushed their shoulder. So
okay.
instinctively I said, "Sio, sio, sio."
Oh, shit.
I said, "Sio, sio, sio." Sorry. Orang Sabah ka? So just from that one word, he
Mhm.
could instantly, orang Sabah. So we feel connected instantly. So it's just a really common saying. It makes people feel okay. This like a connecting with not only Sabah, not only Kadazan people. So in the entirety of Sabah in general,
Oh,
Chinese people say it. Even the minority Indians say it. So it's very common. There's also other words, but most of the words are quite inappropriate. So
oh,
"sio" is the best word for
okay,
me
okay.
to express to you guys. Anything
Mm,
else?
do you often use this word like for all of Sabahan people?
Um, okay, so it's not necessarily the whole of Sabahan people. For "sio" to come out, it's usually on instinct
Oh,
because I
understood.
don't really choose to say it "sio, sio." Because when I say sorry, for example, with my own mom, I don't really say "sio." But I say sorry, 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 gitu lah. But when I'm with people who are outside of my
Oh,
family, most of the time I would say "sio" because there's some sort of like thing in my household where we're not really talking in Kadazan, so I'm really used to it. But
Oh,
then when
okay.
I'm outside, when I'm with other people, Seo comes out instinctively. Yeah, depends on the situation,
Hmm.
depends on my mood as well. I don't know.
Okay.
So, yeah,
Oh, it's more like to outsider, outside people,
yeah, more like that.
not
Yeah,
popular. Okay,
because
okay.
we don't really speak Kadazan. I'm not really that fluent in Kadazan. I just know a few words here and there. Seo is my most common word anyway. So yeah,
Oh, there is a most common word. Okay, that is
yeah, I say it all the
very
time.
very good information, Afi.
Of
Uh,
course.
yeah. So, move on to the next question, and my partner will ask you.
I want to ask more question about the slang. Uh, who use often the slang xiao? Or everyone, teenager or adults?
Not gonna lie, I think everybody use Seo
Everybody,
because
like everybody.
uh, it's mostly because it okay. Basically, we learned it from older people, and the younger people learn it from us. So
Uh,
eventually, everybody's gonna be using the same word, Seo, 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 Seo. Uh,
Oh,
because
okay.
in our schools, for example, in my school back then, I was in all boys school. Everybody's not the same bangsa. There's some Kadazan people, there's even Malay people, there's an Indian guy, and there's also our seniors, our juniors, and I hear Seo being said often, even by our teachers. So it's quite a universal word. Everybody says it, and it's very common to hear it anywhere you go.
Common and friendly
uh,
to.
Yes, of course.
okay.
When you use this word like at here at Semenanjung, and someone
Yeah.
recognize it, and you feel very connecting, right?
Yes.
Connecting with the people, right? Because you found someone from Sabah too. Is that
Yeah,
right?
I feel, yeah, I really feel like, oh, this is one of my
Yeah.
homies back from Sabah. Nanti balik Sabah kita mau minum. Gitu lah rasanya. Like, it just feels like, oh, automatically cousin. That's how it feels.
Okay.
Even though I just found out this guy was Sabahan a few seconds ago. That's how it feels.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, move on to the next question.
Okay. Discussion about posture and social hierarchy. So, how might how might uh, how might your culture reflects social hierarchy? For example, like in our culture, when we when we walk in front of older people than us, we must bow to walk in front of them. Does your culture also apply that?
Our culture is very, very respectful of our elders, like every other
Uh,
culture. But one thing Karazan people really love to do is, okay, like you said just now, we when we pass by older people, we bow in front of them. But one other thing is that everybody will need to hug. It's not a need, but everybody's inclined to hug the older person. So I remember at one time we went to a family gathering, my all Karazan family gathering. There was an older person, an older family member. I think she's the oldest. So when everyone passed, they always have an inclination to maybe hug them or show affection to them. So that's one thing. But every time there's a family meeting, the eldest person will be put in a place where they're the center of the attention. For example, like I said before, I was in a cousin gathering. The old people, no matter a wedding, a funeral, or anything, lah, the older people, the eldest people, would be put either in the middle or the depan. So everybody will have to see them. It's just like showing that they're the eldest, they're the most respected, and we have to love them. That's how it is, lah.
Oh,
Not necessarily like we're worshiping them. It's a form of like we're showing respect to them.
so like
Yeah,
the elder like in the middle, in the
it's
middle,
either in the middle or in the front.
or in the front. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
uh, just your culture also when you shake people shake people with just wait.
take your time. Take your time.
When you shake people with people who older than you, does you kiss their hand or something like that?
Okay, so in our culture, all right, I'm sure everybody's used to like older people,
Uh,
kita salam cium tangan,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
yeah.
kiss their hand. So sometimes in Kadazan culture, it's not necessarily you need to kiss their hand. All you have to
Oh,
do, you have to grab their hands like this, and then gitu. You don't have to kiss it.
oh, okay.
Ah, Sometimes when you're not really close to a person, for example, a family friend, just shake
Mhm.
them, shake their hand, give a firm handshake. That's all enough. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's very
So
awkward sometimes because when I went to one of my friend's birthday, they're
Mhm.
an all Karazan, all Chinese family. So I went to shake. I brought one of my friends along too. I shake my uncle's hand, shake just like a firm handshake. My friend went forward. He's used to it. He shook the hand and he kissed the hand. But I saw my uncle. He wasn't used to the hand kissing either. So he was like, oh okay. It
Oh,
was quite awkward. Like,
pull back, pull back. Okay.
yeah. So
So,
it's just very the just shaking hands is already a form of respect, just like that.
but kadang people usually like they not shake hand, right? They hug, right?
No, shaking hand is like okay. Hugging and shaking hand is pretty much the
friends.
it's like equal lah. But for
Oh,
people who are
equal.
closer, of course we hug lah. Of course we're gonna
Oh,
hug.
for the people
If
who
it's
are
close,
closer, you need to hug.
not necessarily neat, but
Oh,
everybody usually just hugs.
oh, okay, okay. But
So understand.
the outsider, you don't hug. If your first time
It
Strangers.
meet,
depends.
oh, depends,
It
okay.
depends sometimes. For me, when I already okay, if it depends on the certain outsider, because I don't, I'm not, I'm a person who gets really close to a person really fast. So if it's somebody who I actually got really close with really fast, I would often go initiate a hug, and they would do the same. But most of the time, just shake their hand is already enough.
Oh, shake the hand is
Yep,
okay, right? Okay, okay.
shake them is very enough. Yep.
Uh, ada any body language that your culture think is considered disrespectful?
Disrespectful.
Body language.
I would
Like,
say, to be honest, anything that is insulting, maybe especially gestures lah. When people show off, as the very common middle finger, it's common. But other gestures would be, I would say, ignoring when somebody wants to shake their hand.
oh,
Uh,
okay.
uh,
Very good point.
Basically, just ignoring the person altogether. That's very disrespectful, obviously.
Mm.
And I think there's also one gesture, but I forgot what. But it's very common amongst all people because they find it very offensive and it's quite. I think especially Gen Z, we're always using that gesture. I forgot. The 6-7, yeah. That one, yeah, the 6-7, yeah. They find
Very
it
good.
very disrespectful. So,
Oh,
I mean, very disrespectful. So, I don't. It's. I don't think we should do that in front of elders. I
yeah,
guess.
like
Uh,
older
Yeah,
people, right? Yeah,
yeah.
that's
They
very
must
disrespectful.
understand that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I understand, I understand. Yeah, any more question?
no.
Okay.
All right.
Move on to the next question. I want to ask you about personal space.
Oh, okay.
Uh, okay, where? Uh, when you talk with like family members, new people, how do they usually use personal space? And another question. Okay. No, sorry. How do they use personal space? Like for family
Okay.
member and stranger.
Okay. So one thing that's very common is touching each other's shoulder. For example,
Oh.
me and my uncle. So when I meet him, I will always shake his hand first, and then
Mhm.
I will also I'll grab his shoulder. Uncle, are you okay? You good? How are you? Okay, itulah. And then from there, it was just develop. For girls, it's the same sometimes, but there, I always notice that sometimes dudes will always go grab for the side of the shoulder, but
Oh, this
girls will
side.
always go for the top. Yeah,
Oh.
the top. Uh, so when I talk to my uncle, it's always like grab the shoulder, and then when I already let go, sometimes he touches my shoulder, gitu lah. So if
Mm.
it's with family members, we're very close with each other. We don't really need the personal space too much. Of course, there's personal space as well,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
for us to actually acknowledge that we want some personal space, sometimes, for example, when I touch my uncle's shoulder, he kind of signals that he doesn't want to. He isn't really feeling in the mood, or maybe he's like tired or not happy. He would not initiate shoulder contact as well. So maybe he would just okay, then it's okay, okay. I go first. Dia terus gitu.
Oh,
Some Another form is also not looking another person in the eye.
oh,
If we look at each other, looking in the eye is actually a very high form of respect in Karazhan people, amongst
highest.
Karazhan people, especially not really highest, but a very high form of respect. We show each other respect when we look each other in the eye. It's not like we eyeing each other down. It's more like
Yeah, yeah.
uncle, uncle. But for other people, older people, we don't look at them in the eye because it's very disrespectful. But if we're like very close or we're like very close to social stature, looking each other in the eye is like I acknowledge you here, you acknowledge I'm here, gitu. But with
Uh,
our nene, with my uncle, with my older uncles, the ones that are 60, 70 above, of course, we're gonna have to lower our bodies, lower our heads. Obviously,
okay,
that's
like,
very, yeah. Yeah.
okay.
It's like Malay people as well.
Oh, oh, okay,
But
okay.
amongst our uncles, later, we mostly treat them like we're friends. Not
Okay.
everybody is like that, but for my family, we're like that.
Oh, okay. So, can you tell me about the highest respect that you can show? Ah,
Highest respect, I would say, well, the highest respect where for younger people, especially people my age, we don't really get to see like the form of high respect by other people, by older people. But if you want to see the highest respect is when people put you as the center of the attention. Basically, when you're old enough, when you're already in the front, that's the highest form of respect. So that basically means you're the leader, you're the wisest, and of course, you're the one that is to determine who or what happens in this family. Begitulah. So it's usually very we really cherish that kind of like eldest in the front, eldest is the one who decides it all. But in in this like modern era, it's not really like that. It's not really tribe-ish anymore. Everybody just respects them, shows them the love, but it's not necessarily like you decide whether who works this or works that. Because back in the day, the tribe leader, because in Kalazan people were actually people in the jungle, tribes people.
okay.
So the person in the front, old or not, they would always decide who does this, who does that. But for now, obviously, nobody's gonna do that.
Oh,
You can do
nobody
whatever you
use that
obviously,
anymore, right?
of course. Yep.
Huh. Okay. Mm, same as outsider, right? Same for the
Of
outsider.
course.
Oh,
For outsiders, we treat them like guests. So we don't really show that put them in the front, but we put them at the level where they're a family. We treat them as family. Yeah. You come, your family. That's exactly how outsiders and friends are. For Karadan people, especially, one way to see that they respect you and they treat you as family is if they offer you beer.
oh, okay. Like
Because
tua, tua.
Karadan is a
Tua.
no, not
Oh,
necessarily
no, no,
tua.
no,
Tua
not
is
tua.
for special occasions. So
Okay.
since Kadazan people are mostly Christian,
Mhm.
they would often offer people beer if they feel comfortable and if they feel like they respect this person. So, for example, as a Muslim myself, they offer me beer, but I don't drink. Of course, I don't
Oh,
drink beer. I'm gonna be
Alhamdulillah.
dead if I drink beer. If we go to a family meeting,
Mhm.
if you go to family meeting, you already smell the stench of beer just by entering the place. You can already smell the beer because their culture is drinking alcohol. So if I go, mesti ada like Afiq, Danish, bagi dia beer satu, bagi dia tiger satu. Oh,
Yes.
pening.
Okay.
It's very hard to refuse. Their alasan
Mm.
would be Tuhan kasih okay je tu, Tuhan kasih lepas je tu. This is necessity. That line is always a necessity. So if they offer you beer, they insist that you drink. That means they treat you like family. They care for you, and basically, if you need help, they're gonna help you. Gitu.
Oh, I see. So, Kadazan people are very friendly, right? Are very
Very
friendly,
friendly.
right? Very, very
Yeah,
friendly. Because they
yeah,
treat stranger or outsider like a family.
of
And
course.
the personal distance not that far, right? For the stranger,
Not
because
that far.
oh,
Yeah.
okay. Oh, they very, very, very friendly. Okay.
Is it the same between different gender, like male,
Gender.
female?
Okay. So one thing about in Sabah, so in Islam, it is wrong for us to
Uh,
touch or have contact with girls.
mhm.
It's normal but in Sabah, for girls and guys to have contact, it's very common. Maybe a handshake, maybe to high five, gitu. It's actually taught in school. I know about the teaching as well, but it's a very something that already is in our culture. That sometimes I see people who wear tudung, they meet their cousins. Even with our cousins, we can really touch them. So they meet their cousins, they meet their friends, they tap each other up or something, and it's like a normal thing. For me, I'm not really comfortable having contact with other girls. I'm kind of like the outsider sometimes. But up until Form 2 or Form 3, I was actually okay with having contact with some of my family members, some friends. But then I started to like, okay, nah, this is not right, man. I should stop this. This is not right. God's gonna kill me on this now. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but for girls, if it's Kanasan people, they would be very, very, how to say this? They're gonna treat each other like equals. If it's cousins, they treat family as priority. So
Oh.
no matter if you're a girl or a guy, you're gonna get the same treatment. You're gonna be like dapped up. You're gonna be high five. You're gonna be equal. That's how it is. There's also something I would like to add. So in Sabah, almost everybody, not almost everybody, I would say it's very common for you to be related with someone else. So there's certain occurrences. For example, there's this place in Pinampang. In Pinampang, for you to be related with that person, it's very high. So, for example, my friend, he wanted to date this girl back during Form 4. When he brought the girl home to introduce to the parents, the
Mhm.
mom said, Ko anak si Veronica kan? And then at that moment, he wanted to introduce the girl. It was revealed that girl is actually his second cousin. So they could not date.
Oh.
Yes,
So the village
they
is
could not
very
date.
small lah.
It's not
But
really a village. It's an area, a
uh,
very big area. It's
Oh.
uh,
actually a very big area, but everybody is
but
somehow, somewhere,
related.
Somehow
somewhat
related.
connected. It's crazy.
Okay.
Oh, so it's kind of funny, like
Yeah,
when you
yeah,
think
yeah.
about
Like
it.
cousin, right?
Yeah, I
Okay.
cannot believe.
Anything more to add?
No.
Nah. Okay, now I'm going to show you a video of it, but please don't take
All
this
right,
personal because this
all
is
right, it's
a
okay.
little bit sensitive. Okay,
Stereotypes.
Okay,
so
sure, sure, sure.
this is about stereotype actually.
Of
And
course.
you can check the video. Uh,
Oh, it's in WhatsApp.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, sure, sure. Oh, I know this guy. I know
Every
this guy.
Yeah,
social
yeah. This
example
girl always make content
and
about
proves hospitality.
Sabahan people
He has no
and Sarawak.
money and he
Taurus.
cannot
I know
buy
this.
food. Tiap hari kalau aku lapar, aku makan. Here we have no food. We have to go and hunt for food. In the land of Borneo, their specialty is blow.
Okay.
And their weapon of choice is the
Aduh.
blowpipe.
Alala.
Here we don't have stone houses. We live in trees. If we want to travel, we use crocodile.
Crocodile. Si bodoh. Okay,
Like
I've
riding the
actually seen that
crocodile.
video before. All right.
Okay, so my question, uh, you aware about this stereotype from Semenanjung people, right? Someone who not educated enough to see
Yes.
how Sabah is actually very improving themselves, right? Sabahan and Borneo. You aware about this stereotype, right? Okay, so I want to
Yes, I'm very aware.
ask you, does this stereotype actually affect how your community in Kadazan feel to the Semenanjung
Um.
people?
Okay. So for our people, for people in Sabah, so
Yeah.
there's always a 50-50. There's a minority, there's a majority. There's always equal, but there's always a minority, there's always a majority. But in Sabah, it's always something that is always this issue that is always like very, very majorly agreed upon. It's not that we're affected, but it's more that we misunderstand. So of course there's gonna be stereotypes, there's gonna be insults. For me personally, I'm not really affected because I'm not fully Karazan, I'm not fully anything, but I still feel like okay, this ain't right. We don't climb. I'm Karazan and I don't climb trees now, so I don't really know that much. But uh, I've always heard that one stereotype, especially after I reached in Semenanjung. They always said, "Oh, panjat pokok, panjat pokok." I was like, "Panjat pokok, panjat pokok." Sorry, dog. I don't. Saya mau panjat pokok pun jatuh kali. But then I kind of understood that meant like Sabah tak maju. I was like, "Oh, okay, okay, okay. Faham, faham, faham."
Uh,
It's very, very, how do I say? It's quite political, but
yeah.
also it kind of affects the culture itself. But for people in Sabah, they're very, very, they're not very, very, but they quite dislike that. And
Oh, okay.
from the people that I know, my family members, my friends, they always are quite, not uneducated, but they're quite afraid to come to Semenanjung. because because they're not really, they're afraid that they won't get along with the people. They're
Mm.
afraid that people will not accept them, and also they would be made fun of. But there's also some who are a little too extreme, that they don't think that it's not right for people to be making fun of us when okay, wait, I don't want to get too political here, but yeah, those issues aside,
Yeah, yeah.
that people are quite unhappy. They think that they will not be accepted, but it's quite the latter actually. I've heard from my own personal experiences, people actually very like Sabah. They like Sabahan people and they like Sabahan culture. But from what I've seen, one reason that people don't really like Sabah is because the girls in Sabah are beautiful. I don't know why. I actually talked to a person on MRT back when I was in KL. I was in KL for I always go to KL sometimes. I was on MRT. It was at around 9 o'clock. I went back from uh KL Central. I went to meet a friend. I went on MRT. What's it called again? Museum Negara.
Oh,
So I
Muslim.
went to yeah, I changed from TRX, and then I went on Jai Central. Then I sat next to this guy. This guy looks. He was just looking around. I was like looking at him. I was like, yo, yo. And then we started to talk. Sabah. I was like, oh yeah, Sabah, Sabah. Dari cakap pun boleh tahu kan. Dia, aku tak suka orang Sabah. He just said it like that. Oh, sorry, kenapa? Perempuan dan Sabah semua cantik-cantik. He just said it like that. I was like, oh yeah. Okay, so, I mean, bukanlah semua cantik. Sini pun banyak cantik. Kalau orang Sabah aku tak suka sama perempuan dia cantik. Itu aku tak suka. Aku jealous. Dia kata. He's being
But there's
serious. He's not joking. He's actually being serious.
oh, very
But I said,
serious, huh?
janganlah tak suka. I said, janganlah tak suka. Come on lah, sini pun ramai cantik. Tapi tak secantik Sabah dia. I was like, oh goodness. And then in the end, we actually became friends. We actually became quite friendly with each other. So I just discovered that it's not necessarily that that we Sabahans apa ni, are people make fun of us because of that. It's just mostly based off of, how to say this, generalized stereotypes. People mostly dislike a certain group of people because somebody said they're like that,
Yeah,
while the person who are being attacked, they dislike the people who attack them without knowing that not everybody who attack them are the same.
yeah, yeah.
So it's quite uh it's one hell of a, I would say, experience to be here, because I found out, oh, not everybody's like this. I found out, oh, okay, not everybody is like that as well, and everybody just likes each other for who the person is.
Mhm.
And there was a case back then in Johor, early last year. I think there was a slashing case. Indian people who were killed in Johor
Mm.
by a Sabahan guy who was drunk. And because of that, I bet I was like thinking, oh man, Sabah memang kena NT lah lepas ni. We're so dead, bro. Yeah. And then I just found out that they really target that dude itself, not the culture. Because I saw the full video. Another Sabahan guy was holding the guy down, stepping on his face. So it
Mm.
was like, oh, okay. So it seems that my own perception isn't true. Not all Semenanjung people dislike Sabah, and not what
Yeah,
they're saying is not really that they mean it. So it's just very political lah, from what I see, what I think. The stereotypes are very political. It's not necessarily insulting. It's just more of a way to make propaganda, I guess. Yeah,
yeah.
everybody's connected, so it's all chill, I guess.
Mhm. It's more about the people, right? Not the culture,
Of
eh?
course, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not about the group; it's about the person itself.
Mm. Okay. So I want to know how you counter this stereotype. Like you said, when the first time you came to Semenanjung, like a lot of your friend, like let's say panjat pokok, right?
Mm.
Like you said before. How do you actually feel, and how you counter that? Are you like be quiet or you? But you know they joking, right? Yeah.
Of course, I know they're joking. So if it's with my friends, I would obviously fire back. So I would
Oh.
not necessarily be quiet. I would say, for example, if it's someone who is, I would always like find something to counter back, not at their group, but at that person himself. So for
Mhm.
example, if it's somebody who I always invite to the gym, but they don't go to the gym, I would always like, they would say, eh, apa ni panjat pokok? Kan macam kau tak boleh panjat pokok, angkat barang pun dah dapat kali.
Oh.
I would always something that is about them. I was like, sorry lah, sorry lah. It's always like, it's always something that we can. But if it's somebody that I don't know, somebody that, for example, just attacking me out of nowhere, I would obviously just stay quiet. I don't really want to make a fuss out of it because
Oh,
as a Sabahan, I carry the entirety of Sabah, the entire identity of Sabah. So
okay.
I will always think of it as this way: if they fire at me, and I attack back, and if I fire back, I'm not really a verbal person. I'm very physical. But
Oh,
my mom really taught me one thing lah. If you hit people back, kau akan kena pukul 10 kali ganda lagi terus oleh saya.
Mm.
So obviously I would stay quiet. That's
Okay.
one. And also, if I mess up here, the entirety of Sabah would be quite. Basically, ruining the image of Sabah, my family's image, and my image. So
wow.
one thing I would just say is I would just reda aja lah.
Okay.
Astaghfirullahalazim, la ilaha illallah. I'll just
They will
selawat,
complete.
diam je.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know lah about this uneducated guy, but some of them are being serious, right, about
Very
this stuff.
serious. Yeah,
Um, but I hope the stereotype can be gone, right? And
Yeah.
because we are one Malaysia, right?
we are one Malaysia.
Okay.
Well, whatever it is, stereotypes gonna be stereotypes. Everybody's
Mm.
just gonna make fun of each other.
Yeah, yeah,
Let's
yeah,
just hope one day it tones down.
yeah.
Mm. I want to ask you something. Is there any stereotypes that is actually true that you agree with that stereotype?
Okay. One stereotype that is very true, it's not 100% true, but
And
it's quite true lah, is that
Mm.
orang Kadazan pemabuk.
Oh.
And I'm not gonna lie, it's very true because every Kadazan person, not every lah, but Kadazan people really like to
50-50.
drink, and they often get drunk. And it's not really a stereotype, it's more of a fact. But sometimes people just go over the top with like pemabuk sampai bunuh orang lah. I don't know, it's quite over the top. When people get drunk, there's always a stereotype that okay lah, they're drunk, they might kill a person, they might go crazy. I've been around people who are drunk for almost my entire life, and I can say, drunk people, they only get pissed, they only start to get aggressive if you trigger their aggression.
Oh.
So okay, they're very 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 relaxed.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they're neutral. If you're good to them, they're gonna be very good to you. If you're bad to them, they're gonna be very bad to you. Yeah. So I'm with my. I have an instance with my drunk friend as well. My friends, I have been the designated driver so many times. I can't even count it on my hand. So there was a time my friend Wes, me and him trained Muay Thai at Sabah. He actually almost got into a fight during Kaamatan last year,
Mm-hmm.
and not last year, back during 2024. I forgot this is 2026. So back during 2024, I was actually driving for him and a few of our friends, picked him up. So before we went into the car, Wes and another friend of mine were mabok, they were drunk, and then they were like exchanging words, like mocking each other. But somehow, I don't know how, it got escalated to a point. Wes was kicking this guy so hard, the guy was actually crying di
Oh
jalan.
no.
I was like, relax lah, relax, relax. Si
Mhm.
bodoh tu pergi panggil-panggil saya ni. And he was like, come on, relax, just leave this guy behind. Terus I went to the car. A few moments later, fake, I love you, man. Thank you, gila. Jadi kawan saya. I love you, bro. Sampai dia tidur, until he fell asleep. It was
Oh.
funny because a few minutes before, he was literally kicking another guy.
Oh no.
And then a few minutes after, he was expressing how much he loves his homeboy. That's okay, interesting.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, it's quite true lah if people say orang Sabah or Kadazan ni memang pemabuk.
Yeah.
But pemabuk macam mana pun, it's not sampai yang dorang hurt people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
The
So
relaxed one, right?
of course, yeah.
he knows
And
he's
if
drunk.
I'm sure you guys might be thinking kan, kalau dorang mabuk macam mana dorang nak drive? Okay, so that's another thing. In Sabah, kalau orang mabuk, dorang drive, somehow they do not get into accidents. I don't know why.
Wow.
Pure
Ah,
skill.
Pure skill, pure skill.
just the other day, when I was back in Sabah, I went home for a bit. I was
Oh.
driving my father's car.
Mm.
In front of us was a drunk driver. He wasn't swerving or anything, but he went to the side. He parked. I looked at my rearview mirror. I saw he was vomiting. Oh, ni memang mabuk
Oh
ni.
yeah.
Ah,
He was
yeah,
drunk.
so they would understand that, oh, okay, I'm drunk, I can't drive. I need to stop ataupun I need to have somebody to drive for me.
That's
But
very
sometimes there's some people yang memang, I would say, bodoh, they
Mm-hmm.
would still drive. So memang there will always be cases, but it wouldn't be too much lah.
mm. Like I say, it's more about the people,
Of
about
course,
culture.
it's about
Yeah,
the person, the
for the person.
choices.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Right.
Okay. Then we move on to the last question.
Okay, sure, sure. Let's
Okay.
go.
And the last question is about conflict style. Do people in your culture prefer to maintain harmony or they express their feelings face to direct?
Direct approach.
Yeah, directly.
Okay, so in Semenanjung, I was exposed to this term kata berkias.
Ah,
I've never heard of that term before. I've heard kias lah, kias-kiasan macam the peribahasa, but I never knew there was like a term for like kata berkias. But back in Sabah, most, if not all of the time, I would hear people be straightforward with me, be direct with me. Uh, it's mostly people who I know. It's people who I know. But sometimes outside this, or maybe people that we barely know, they would always be straightforward. So the other day, my mom, she was actually made fun of at a mall by a drunk woman. She said, pakai tudung, pakai tudung, pakai tudung. Then she fainted. I don't know why. So
mm,
basically, macam she I don't know, maybe she had a problem. But people are very straightforward most of the time. But we do have like our kata tapis lah. We stop at a certain point. We don't say things at a certain. We always watch what we say, especially towards our elders. And for Sabahans, no matter how straightforward we can get, everybody still loves each other. Everybody's really cool with each other. Um, so I'll tell you guys one thing. Like in Sabah, there are a lot of churches. The there are two churches and two mosques near my house. There's literally a church, just a 10 minute, not even, there's a 5 minute walk church right near my house. And there's a 5 minute walk mosque right near my house. So there's sometimes when Salat Jumaat, people actually park in the church to go Salat Jumaat.
oh,
And it's also the same for people who have Sunday, Saturday Mass. They park in the church to go to they park in the mosque to go to the church. Uh,
okay.
so yeah, everybody's okay with each other. Everybody loves each other, and everybody's very straightforward to the point. Young, it's actually okay. It's criticism. Nobody really cares, and I really like that environment because back when I was a kid, when I was primary, I wasn't really too educated in my religion. I did like believe in Allah. I always thought Allah is the God gitu, and I always went to a church to go fill my water, because in the church that there was on the only that church had the water dispenser. Every
Mhm.
day I'd be school, my father would pick me up at 5 because my mom goes home at 5. I would always stay back from school up till 5. There's no water dispenser. The cafe is sometimes it's closed during school hours, especially after recess. So I would have nowhere to go. Then my friend said, "Jom lah pergi church." At that point, I was like, "Oh my God, Matai, I'm so dead. I'm going to church. I'm gonna be Christian now." But then I had no choice. Kan, I just went, and then I saw there's like people. There was like Indians. There's Buddhists going to church, not to pray, but just to apa
You
ni
want to?
park, to minum air. I was
Oh,
like, damn, that's cool. And then after that, I saw some people, some of my friends who I knew, actually go to the mosque. Christian friends go to the mosque just to, I don't know, just to go pick up my other friend. They went to the mosque, pick up friend, and then they lepak kejap. And I saw like, oh damn, I've never seen this before. I've never seen this in TV, and it's actually something very normal. And it's actually kalau macam in Islam, salah kalau mau masuk macam church, especially kalau orang sembahyang. But
mm,
I actually just entered the area yang Sunday school, so it's not really connected to the church. Okay lah, sikit I guess. But I don't really go to that area anymore because
oh,
buat apa nak pergi dekat rumah dah ada dispenser. Why should I
mhm.
go there?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But yeah, it's very friendly. Everybody's straightforward for some reason. Just the other day when I got back to Sabah, I met my friend, a very close friend of mine. He asked me, Fik, cakaplah sama saya terang-terang. Kau mesti makan banyak-banyak nih kan? Kau gumuk ba, Fik? Kenapa kau gumuk nih, Fik? I was like, damn, bro. Tak sorok langsung.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah. No kiasan, right? No kiasan.
just tell. So I was like, okay, man, I get you, bro. Tapi cok kau tengok cermin kan, lagi gemuk dari sana. Yeah. So we just like bahas-bahas gitu. But sometimes with teachers, I don't know how people berani mau be straightforward with them. Oh, and sometimes the teachers just like, oh, okay, cool. Gitu. So interesting, but okay lah, I guess. Asalkan kau tak marah or whatever. Yeah,
Maybe
I guess that's
maybe
it.
can you share about how your people in your culture uh, handle handle it disagreement when you talk anything and people disagree with you, how your people
Okay.
handle it?
So one thing people really okay in our culture, we're very vocal when we wanna handle something. But when people talk, it's very very high tone. So, for example, in my back during high school, there was an issue with my friend and me. So when we had a disagreement, sometimes, most of the time, 90% of the time, during that disagreement, we would say something, and then once when we say something is over, there would be a certain time frame where we wouldn't really talk to each other, and then after that, we're gonna be okay. Yeah. Yeah. We always have that moment where I say what I want, you say what you want, and then we
Mm.
reflect, and then we're okay again. It's like
Uh,
that. Yeah. Of course, we would apologize. We would be straightforward that
uh,
I did my wrongdoings. You did your wrongdoings. But if it's in family you have to go through the elder, because if you argue, not really have to, but it's better if you go through somebody who's older. If macam cousins, my friend recently last year he argued with his cousins. They argued so bad they actually got into a fight.
oh,
They went through their fathers, and the fathers actually had to discuss, and then after that each other have to apologize to, for example, my friend had to apologize to his uncle, and his cousins had to apologize to his dad, and then they apologize to each other.
mhm.
So the parents wouldn't really necessarily want their child to apologize to the other children. They want their child to apologize to their parents. Their parents are first, then their children. That's how it is. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's all the question that we have today.
All right,
Uh,
nice.
Nice, bro, and bro. And
I hope that helped.
we are very thankful for you to be here because
I'm
finding
honored to be
someone who
interviewed.
can cooperate
Thank
is
you for
very, very
interviewing me.
hard. Yeah, so very happy to hear about more about your cultures and know about your cultures. Uh,
I'm
all
happy to tell more about my culture. Thank you for
yeah,
interviewing me.
thank you so much, Abi. Okay,
All right.
that's all we have. Bye, thank you,
I
Vic.
hope I helped.
Bye.
Bye bye.